Alright gamers, well, with the all-new Jurassic World Dominion movie, the 6th installment in the franchise, I'm super excited to see this one, even though of course nothing will ever top the legacy of the 1993 Spielberg classic that was groundbreaking beyond comprehension, but I'll always welcome another entry in the series, especially seeing how the original actors, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are coming back to reprise their roles respectively as their characters. So a little nostalgic touch in there is never a bad thing. Yeah, definitely excited to see this one, and I think it'll be pretty appropriate to do a Let's Play / review on Jurassic World Evolution, as well as its sequel, Jurassic World Evolution 2. I've mentioned these games several times, and, well, never really sat down and actually gave a full review about them because, well, it's just a lot of material to talk about, so I'll do it in a more creative and more fun fashion, playing it and talking about it. So I'm obviously not going to talk about them all the way through and show every bit of piece of what you have to go through to play it. I'm mostly just going to play the sandbox mode and talk about some other things briefly, but just have fun with it. And yes, this is going to be a multi-part video because, as I said, it's just a lot to talk about. A lot of material. So our first stop is the first one, released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC and eventually on Nintendo Switch sometime later, but this was originally released in 2018, and it's got a rather mixed reception. So hold on to your butts, people, because it might be a bit of a bumpy ride. So let's take a look, shall we? Okay, well, to start with, this is going to be sort of a rundown, quick review type of thing. That I'm just going to really more or less talk about the main game. So, yeah, it's obviously going to be more than just building the park. You know, you got your main campaign, and I'm not going to talk about the DLC because otherwise I'll be here all day. And you notice I downloaded some of the DLC, you know, with the first movie. This was during COVID and everything because I had all the vacation money for trips that I didn't even get to go on. And, you know, I figured, you know, I'm going to be stuck at home, and this is what I spent it on. It was only about like 20 bucks or so, and I brought back old stuff from the first movie. But anyway, this is what you get with the fourth movie and with the main game that came with it. You get a campaign mode, and I don't want to start a new game, but mainly you have to go through different islands and everything like that. And yeah, you go through all these different islands and you unlock each one of them. Obviously, as I said, with DLC, this is what you have to download that and pay for it to get these islands unlocked. But when you play the main campaign mode, you start out with one island, you unlock each one by getting, I believe it's a 4-star rating, and you have to complete different mission objectives. And some of them can be easy, you know, they're very simple, like place a certain dinosaur, and you get certain dinosaurs that you have to unlock. And you do so by, if any of you played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis for the PC or PS2, whatever consoles it was on, yeah, I did a Let's Play video, so just check that one out. You get kind of the same idea. It has similar vibes to it. You have to send out dig teams to get the fossils and get the fossils back, and you have to do, you know, the DNA sequencing and all the sciencey stuff. But the game makes it very simple, and that's how you get the dinosaurs unlocked, and you have to get a certain percentage of the DNA for each dinosaur, and then you have to put them in, you know, a containment fence and make sure they're fed and everything like that. I must caution you, though, if you pick Jurassic Park, the old school version, though, you're limited to what you can build, though, at least in this game. So if you pick Jurassic World, the newer film, you get more options of things to build. So, not to really crap on this version of sandbox mode, but I'll show you in a little bit. You know, I'll just show you very briefly what you're going to get. And yeah, keep in mind, I'm going to cut a lot of the slow parts out, the load screens and everything, so let's just cut to the, you know, main gameplay. So, you get the basic point. In this version, it's all old school stuff. You get most of the stuff that should seem pretty familiar if you've seen, well, the first movie. You know, you get that big Discovery Center building that, for any of you who've been to Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida only, not in Hollywood's park, this should seem familiar, and it's just like, you know, the first movie, the, you know, dream that John Hammond had to build Jurassic Park. You know, you're out of a job, or don't you mean extinct? And yeah, it would seem pretty appropriate to put the vehicles here like in the movie, and sure enough, these are the many things you get in here. In this game, they're under the enclosures, so this is what you get. You do get the Avery birdcage thing, but unfortunately you can only build it to this size, and this also applies in the Jurassic World version of Sandbox mode, so I'm just giving you a sneak peek at what it looks like. And as for Velociraptors, you can only put them in here, I think. Yeah, this small little thing. I'm not exactly sure. I know it's like the first movie, and they're trying to be very faithful to what the first movie had, but I don't know how you expect people to see them. I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of it being an attraction, and this is what you get for a hatchery to be able to hatch a baby dinosaur, as Mr. DNA would say. So, and obviously everything has to be connected by path. That's a no-brainer right there. Except the Velociraptor can, which, again, I don't know how people expect to be able to see that. And with electricity, you have to build, well, power stations. And I should also mention, if you go to the sandbox settings, this also only applies in sandbox mode. You can turn the electricity thing off and set a bunch of different difficulty options. This applies for both versions of this game. So, yeah, no failed incubations. If you want your dinosaurs to be incubated, which you have to do in the hatchery, and no diseases and all that, any escapes, we can turn that off to no escapes. And the social requirements, because every dinosaur has to have a different environment requirements and all that stuff, and what dinosaurs they can share the containment with, because obviously it's a no-brainer that carnivores don't want to share it with herbivores, otherwise the herbivores will get eaten. And unlimited power, yep, you can turn that on, and there you go. You don't even need this. You get all these different signs like in the movie, and yeah, this reminds me of the one that Dennis Nedry ran into and had to fiddle with before he got attacked by the Dilophosaurus. As soon as I build it, I'll zoom into it a lot better. That's as far as I can zoom into it, unfortunately. I apologize if this came out a little bit blurry. I know this is just how it's being filmed, so my apologies there. But it looks just like it did in the first movie. And I can't stress how much more. The first movie is still the best one. So yeah, this is the theming behind everything. And, it's like the original island. The way John Hammond wanted it. You get the bathrooms. Or restroom, I'm sorry. Whatever way you pronounce it. And you get the adventure thing. This is the car ride. And, well, this wasn't in the movie, the station thing, but, yep, you get on here, and you can go through the containment fences to see the dinosaurs. I only assume you can only, you only want to put this where herbivores are, so, yeah, you don't get much to really build in this game to be able to, for attractions, to be able to see the dinosaurs. There's not much to build in here. Compared to Jurassic World version of this, there's a hell of a lot more, but I'm just giving you a heads up on what you expect out of this. But the hatching and everything like that, making the baby dinosaurs, or dinosaurs in particular, that's how you do it, basically. So, no. Okay, the path, I guess, is not connected. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, and I should also mention, in this version of the game, you have to build an arrival helipad, because that's how people get to the island. Anybody, basically, just like in the movie, except I'm not building it farther away with the fence around everything. Yeah, it was a much longer distance, if you've seen the first movie, before they get to where the Brachiosaurus is, and that's probably that was one of the most magical and memorable moments in the movie. First time you ever see a dinosaur in the movie. I mean, just makes you feel like a kid right there. And I should also mention, and this applies for every version of this, even the sequels, not to jump the gun, if you press the square button, you can change it from curved to straight, and, vice versa. Not much to say there. Yeah, you gotta open the park, obviously. Well, okay, sorry, you can't do it until you make a dinosaur. It applies the same way in the other version of this game, and yeah, as you can tell, all the dinosaurs are unlocked, but I'm not going to do it in here. I'm going to do it in the Jurassic World version. Yeah, surprisingly, you can do the Indominus Rex, too, as well. But obviously you don't, in this version of the game, the first one to be exact, this game to be exact, you don't want to obviously, you can only build these and release the dinosaurs inside of containment. So, yeah, you gotta build fences and there's different types. But enough of that, I'm gonna jump to the Jurassic World version of this game because, like I said, there's a lot more. So, to do that, you have to select Jurassic World. So, yep, same island. Only difference is this time, unlike the first Spielberg masterpiece, which is still the best, and I like Jurassic World 2 as well, but this one you get the monorail and everything just like in the movie. So, pretty faithful and top-notch little nod there. It's just too bad they don't have the original Jurassic Park location, you know, like in the movie, but yeah, I'm gonna go fancy this time. It'll be fancy pets. Yeah, it's best, this solves the crowding issue. And this is always usually the best spot to build restaurants and shops and stuff. But most importantly, we need some dinosaurs. And yeah, this is the designs to it in, you know, like the newer films. It's more futuristic, more up-to-date. Not to crap on the Spielberg classic, it is still the most groundbreaking film experience of all time, and I still think it's the best, but this is the more up-to-date version. And, well, the signs, unfortunately, are not present in this. You get scenery, though, like trees and stuff. But, unfortunately, that's about it. I'm pretty sure. Yep, so, yeah, some things are taken out, like the vehicle rides. Well, like the first movie, to be exact, those kind of vehicles. Instead, you get the gyrosphere. But the two things that are in this that are not in the Jurassic Park version, you know, like old-school style, are the two viewing vents, the viewing gallery, which is more up-close type of thing, like almost like at a zoo, and a viewing tower, or viewing platform, my apologies, which gives you the advantage of seeing the dinosaurs from a farther distance. You know, guests take an elevator up and are able to see them. And you get the feeders, and just like Operation Genesis, which most of you probably remember that game, you gotta feed the different types of dinosaurs depending on which one is which. And for the herbivores, obviously, there's short ones, which are, you know, require ground feeders, and the tall ones, which require the tall ones, like the Brachiosaurus, for example. And of course, you got the carnivores, and one can give small amount of meat, and one can give more. And then, of course, you got the live bait feeders, which, well, apply for carnivores once again. That's to lure them out, like the T-Rex, for example. So, yeah, it could be just like the first movie, feed the T-Rex the goat, and it applies for any carnivore, like the raptors and so forth. And the fish feeder, too, as well, which I think applies for some dinosaurs, mostly carnivores, primarily, that, well, eat fish. And yes, again, you get the aviaries in this, but it's only just one size. That's about it there. But thankfully the guests can see this. But there's no small little raptor thing, because honestly, I just don't see the point if guests really can't get a view of it. I'm not sure how they're able to in that little small thing, and there's no viewing vent or anything you can build in that even. That was the only letdown in that version. So I'm going to start ourselves out with, well, I'm going to build some herbivores first. So I'm going to cut away from here. Alright, and I should also tell you about the research part of it. This doesn't apply in here because, well, I got everything researched, and yeah, you got to unlock things in, well, this applies in the campaign mode, obviously, and, you know, trying to unlock it, and that's the whole part of the gameplay right here. And it doesn't just require research and everything like that. It requires doing certain quests and doing certain things to, not really so much quests, but completing certain objectives in different types of fields. Like, you know, getting money and releasing this type of dinosaur, for example, or doing this to dinosaurs, or sell, you know, there's a lot of different objectives you'll get in the campaign mode, and that's how some of these require to be exact. So when you're playing the campaign mode, you're going to get a lot of this stuff, and I think there's several different categories that you have to complete each to get, you know, each campaign and each island to get a lot of these things unlocked. So you're going to be doing these a lot in the campaign mode to get a lot of these things. So it's not all going to be there when you start out in this game. But as you could tell, as I explained in the campaign several minutes earlier to be exact, I talked about that. But yeah, I pretty much done all that, so I'm just going to hatch some dinosaurs. Bring out the Brachiosaurus. And yeah, I should also mention this part of it. You can change the dinosaurs physical look. And most of the time people do, you can do this to bring up your park ratings. Like, you can bring up its reaction speed, its DNA traits, as well as its physical appearance, and personality and everything like that, lifespan and resilience and all that kind of stuff to, like I said, give it the proper rating and make guests want to come back to your park, because that's what guests want to see. And also, a lot of these things you can do upgrade slots like incubation speed to make it go faster. So I can make that dinosaur be made a lot faster, and with success rate, you have less likely chance of the incubation failing, which obviously in this I turned it off, the failed incubation option, because I'm playing in sandbox mode, so I just kind of cheated there. But yeah, if you turn it on, and yes, you could do the same ones in each category more than once to give, so yeah, you could do this to give you a better success rate, a better chance of it not failing. But screw that, I'm just going to go with an extra hatchery slot to make more dinosaurs. And yep, I'm going to have 3 Brachiosauruses, so I'll cut to this after I'm done. So here we go. Time to play God. Bring dinos back to life. Yep. It's a dinosaur. He did it. The son of a bitch, he did it. We're going to make a fortune with this place. Yep. Brachiosaurus, or most people call it a brontosaurus, but no, the correct term is actually Brachiosaurus, and, well, I have his, or her 2 siblings ready to come out right behind them. So he'll have a little bit of company there. He or she, whatever you call it. Yep, as they say in the ride, the largest creatures ever to roam the earth. Despite their awesome size, these gentle giants pose no threat to us humans, to be exact. Yeah, being a little specific there. And these are the kind of feeders that were required for these gentle giants, because they are very tall. Yep. So, even though there's a lot of trees around, but still, you gotta put these in, otherwise they will starve. And again, this is why I prefer this version of the game, because you get the viewing vents. I don't know why you don't get them in the Jurassic Park version, the old school one to be exact. This is why I recommend this one. It's just more options. Get that. As well as this. This is a good spot right here. Gotta connect the path with everything else, as you can tell. And there we go. Well, sorry. Yeah, we gotta wait till it's built. And in the meantime, I'll look at what we have in here. Yep, we got pteranodons. Only pteranodons, unfortunately. That's, well, those are the main kind of birds you get in here. Most people actually call them pterodactyls, but whatever. They're birds. It's a bird cage. Yep, as I say in the 3rd movie. Oh my god. It's a bird cage. Yeah, that was surprisingly the only time you ever saw them. I think they made a cameo at the end of The Lost World, the 2nd movie, but, well, the 3rd movie is where you got a real good long appearance out of them. So, yep, we got dinos. It's a Dinosaurus line. It's James Brontosaurus. Yeah, that was from Mrs. Doubtfire, in case you're all wondering. Still one of my favorite Robin Williams comedies. But that scene, I love all the improvising that Robin Williams gave into that movie. He was so good at that. I mean, he was just like the master of comedy and improvs. Rest in peace, my man. Gone too soon. Such a shame. Still one of the most tragic deaths, one of the most greatest and funniest comedians of all time. So here we're going to put a carnivore, and I think we're going to go with some velociraptors. Yep. I'm the raptor, doing what I can, gonna eat everything till appearance of man. Yeah, now I can't get that out of my head. That's just such a funny comedy. I mean, Robin Williams was just so genius in that film. You couldn't lie. Yeah, the thing with raptors, as you probably note, is that, yeah, they do require more than one for them to be happy. When building carnivores, you obviously need a much heavier steel fence. Because, well, yeah, they're carnivores. You don't want them to break out, and they'll pose all the harm to guests than any other dinosaur, all the carnivores. Especially velociraptors. I mean, these are fierce creatures that are clever and very deadly. And I should also bring up that every containment needs water. Yeah, like a person, they all have to drink. Carnivores or herbivores, they all have to drink. So, there's no arguments there. Oh, and I should also mention, you gotta build these things in case something happens to them. Any of these dinosaurs, carnivores or herbivores. So, ranger teams can get in and out. And, yeah, I'd be pretty scared too if I was one of these guys. And this is what you do. Yeah, I should get to the operations. This is what you build an expedition center. Not that it really matters to this, because I don't have to hunt for fossils or anything, at least in this version of Sandbox, in this game to be exact. Yeah, this is what you build to send choppers out to hunt for fossils all over the world. This is what you build to get the DNAs, sequences, and everything out. And this is where you research to get stuff unlocked as soon as you're able to. And this is what you build for, you know, the Rangers. These are the people that respond. And, well, you can have a little bit of fun with this game, actually, with the Ranger Station, aside from doing different tasks, like refilling the feeders, because the feeders do run out eventually. But these are only vehicles, you know, on-foot vehicles. This is what you would normally build to, you know, it gives you a heads up on the kind of weather, because storms do happen a lot, and it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. And Science Center, which in this game is just a prime destination for guests, and I guess it's for education as well as entertainment, you know, because you can't have Jurassic Park or Jurassic World without science. That's what it's all about, really. As well as one of these, like in the fourth film, Jurassic World. Yep, an innovation center. This is where you can get all fancy and build a path around. And, well, I recommend curving it a little bit. Like I mentioned before. Yeah, and I'm sorry I gotta take the water out. I hate to have to do that, but it's the only way I'm gonna build this path around this whole thing. Yeah, so you curve it around here, and it just gives it a fancy, cool look to it. Alright, now I'm going to uncurve it and make it more straight. Yeah, this has a lot of different entrances and requires a lot of different paths to get in this place, but that's just how it is. And now getting back to the whole, yeah, you got security centers too, I guess in case guests don't feel safe with vandals, I'm assuming, or any people that cause trouble, I'm assuming. Probably isn't a bad idea to build one of these. As well as ACU Center. This is what you build for getting choppers around, and this is what you do to transport dinosaurs, tranquilize them, and move them, and even sell them too. And so, yeah, I was notified that the pteranodons are, yeah, pteranodons, not pterodactyls. I used to pronounce them pterodactyls, but yeah, they're actually pteranodons. Pretty cool. Yep, they got their own little environment and everything already built, and I assume the feeders are installed too as well. Unfortunately, we can't release more than 2, I guess. That kind of sucks. That's kind of a shame, but I guess that's because it's such a small aviary. I'm going to release the velociraptors. Yep. Here they come. Yep. Clever girl. And obviously, I'm going to release all 3 of them, because, well, raptors need to be in packs. That's how they hunt. And, well, guests want to be able to see this. And this is what you can do with this, and it's best to have more than one of these. And this I upgrade, and you put schedules to do different tasks, like reload and the, feeders and everything like that. And you can also add more than one. Yep, you can add up to 3 of them, which makes getting tasks done a hell of a lot easier. You can just simply add tasks by refilling the feeders and doing certain things. And if places get damaged during tornadoes or storms or anything like that, like electricity and anything goes down, that's what the ranger teams are there for. They're basically maintenance men in this game. And, well, you can also do things at free range, like drive the vehicle.
You can send them off to do different tasks, and they do it on their own. It's basically a computer AI to drive the vehicle. And yeah, I love how they're driving the vehicle without a roof. I mean, seriously, you can drive these things anywhere, even in a carnivore pen. I shit you not. I know, I think I'd be shitting my pants if I had to drive this into a freaking raptor pen. I mean, wouldn't anybody? And here we go into the wild of the raptor pen. Oh boy, I don't think I'd want to be in these people's position right now. Yep, and here we are. But this is where you can have all the fun. Taking pictures, yep. Just like in Operation Genesis. Yep, they're talking with one another. And that's how you do it. Take photo. Yep. Awesome. That's what you call a $30,000 picture. Right there. Or in my opinion, it's $1 million picture. You don't get cows in this, unfortunately. Yeah, it ain't like the first movie. Which I really wish they do put that in as an option. I mean, you had it in the last game, Operation Genesis to be exact. And in my opinion, that was the best one at the time. Kind of wish that game was available for streaming, you know, or I'm sorry, Steam or some kind of digital download. Yeah, you could just drive it through the park and you honk your horn. Yeah, get out of the way, coming through. I got some photos to take of dinosaurs. And here we go. Here's a real $1 million picture right here. I'm going to try to get more than one of these. I'm just going to be able to get one. Okay. That will sell for a lot, for sure. And will help bring your park's popularity up quite a bit. Alright, so I'm going to mix in some herbivores. Yeah, that's okay to put in with other herbivores. That's a no-brainer right there. So I'm going to put in some other big tall ones. Potosaurus. I'm not sure if I pronounced that 100% right. And I'll mix in one of these guys. No, not one of those. Yeah, you gotta be careful with the armored dinosaurs. They can get pretty defensive amongst the other ones. But these guys are pretty good. And I have to put a viewing vent in for guests to be able to see this. Because what fun is having velociraptors if people can't see them? But thankfully they'll be from a safe distance for guests to be able to see for enjoyment. From a high view and from a low view. Up close view to be exact. And now to get into things that guests obviously need. Well, for park safety, most importantly, if there's any escapes. This will just help your park reputation. Emergency shelters, if God forbid any of this stuff happens. This also applies for when there's storms, because they're always bound to happen, but, well, in this mode you can turn them off, thankfully, so it won't happen. Especially tornadoes, they're always a pain in the ass when they happen, because they're the most destructive force in this game, aside from dinosaurs breaking out. And, well, we got hotels. The best place to usually build these, no-brainer here, is usually to give, dinosaur visibility, where guests can see them from the hotel. That's where you want to build them usually, and this is where I'm going to build this one for guests to be able to see, especially the tall brachiosauruses, and all the other herbivores that'll be on their way out pretty soon. Well, actually, it's going to take a little bit of time, as well as food, which you can do either fast food, you can do the bar, and, well, restaurants. You get other entertainment stuff, which I'll get into a little bit, but yeah, you get restaurants, which are a little more pricier, and it's a much formal way of eating food, if you like to be served. Bathrooms are definitely a necessity, I would say. Yep, as Ian Malcolm would say, you gotta go when you gotta go. And yeah, it's best to spread them all out, so people don't have to walk far before pissing or shitting their pants. And gift shops. Yeah, there's all sorts of stores you can put in this game too as well. Like, yeah, gift shops. You got, and of course fast food, to getting back to food. That's basically a more quicker way. Well, I mean, the name fast food isn't a lie. It says it right there. You got toy shops, getting back to gift shops, but I'm going to put the toy store here. I'm assuming this is good for kids, as well as fossil zones. Also a different type of souvenir shop. And you got the bar, which I guess is more for adults really than anybody else. I guess it serves food as well, I'm assuming. I mean, most bars usually serve food. And this guy is ready to come out. Alright, this guy is obviously a much smaller dinosaur, so he requires a smaller herbivore feeder. But I'm not going to cheap out and go with just one. I'm going to give him more food. And here we go. Yep, got more tall dinosaurs to release. Alright, now I hate to have to remove some of the water, but this is the only way I'm going to build the next main attraction that most of you have seen in the fourth film, Jurassic World, and that is a gyrosphere. Yep, that big hamster ball thing that the kids were obviously driving. You gotta build the station here. And obviously you can't build it over water. You can build it through the fence. You actually can build this through, unlike the safari vehicle from the first movie, thankfully this you can build it through because, as you probably saw in the fourth movie, the thing is made of heavy-duty plexiglass, which is strong. It can withstand pretty much anything except the Indominus Rex, the hybrid dinosaur from that movie. So yes, you can build it in this game, but I'll build it in a little bit, obviously. And yeah, I started to remove a couple of things, but this is how you build the path. And back in where the herbivores are, back into the herbivore containment. I think I have to remove another one, but yeah, take a little detour around. And there we go, a complete path. And well, I gotta complete the path for guests to be able to get to this thing. And here we go. And so, yeah, you could set the price, which I think is going to be a little higher than $4. Or, I'm sorry, that was the cost of the whole thing. It's going to be about 14 bucks. Yeah, it's going to be more than a standard tour. It's going to be for fun. Yeah, you can choose management view. And I'm going to put the most amount of gyrospheres on here because, well, I want guests to be able to enjoy this and not have to wait in line forever. So, yeah, and you can ride the gyrosphere when it's going. Pretty cool. You can change camera views, or I'm sorry, switch vehicles. Okay, yeah, press the camera view, and yep, right in front of a set of velociraptors. Man, that is awesome. I'd be probably freaking out, but thankfully I would feel safe, at least much safer than I would in this Ranger vehicle, considering that thing had no roof on it. And another thing I should point out is you can also drive the thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep, switch cameras and you can drive the thing all around. Yeah, look at that. You can go up the track just like the two kids did in the fourth movie. I should be grateful there's no Indominus Rex here to attack it. I'm going to show you what the view was of the viewing aviary. Pretty damn awesome. And the viewing platform. Yep. Nice and high up. Even higher than their own fences. And let's see what the velociraptors look like. Yep, there they all are. They hunt in packs. So yeah, you can also build these kind of fences, which, well, pretty much block the whole view of the dinosaur. I mean, they're concrete and they're much stronger, but I honestly am not a big fan of these. Yeah, there's two different types of these concrete fences, so yeah, the dinosaurs can still break out of them. I honestly prefer these. They're more basic and, well, it just gives a better visible view of the dinosaurs, even though guests can't really see them. I mean, I would think you can see them when you walk past it on a path, but I just don't like having to block the entire view of it. So we're going to release the King! Da-da-dong! Da-da-dong! Yeah, okay, yeah, I gotta cut the Mrs. Doubtfire reference there, but, yep. The T-Rex. In fact, release 2 of them. Alright, and in this one, I'm going to release the Spinosaurus. It's only going to be one, of course, but unlike the third movie, it's not going to fight the T-Rex. I don't plan on killing off my dinosaurs. So, yeah, this is what happens when a dinosaur gets diseased. And, well, yeah, this is what you send rangers teams out to do, to cure the dinosaurs and, well, also resupply the feeders. you give them different tasks and stuff. So there's a limit to how many they can do in each of the vehicles, so once they complete one, then you can fill up another. Both the T-Rexes are ready to release. The king or queen. God, I hate being right all the time. I'd only be saying that if I was in a car inside of the containment with this thing, or if it got loose and I was standing right outside it in a vehicle or not. Absolutely still. This vision is based on movement. And going for the kill. No? Oh, thought I was going to eat the goat. Yeah, that's right. What's the matter, kid? Ever had lamb chops before? Oh, cool. Yep. They're definitely hungry. Sweet. Well, at least it's not a lawyer. Definitely gives something, definitely a feast for the eyes for the park guests. Alright, and the next big one, the only one who was able to take out the T-Rex in the third movie, which is not going to happen in this game, because I'm not going to do that, just to entertain guests. I mean, come on. Yep, the Spinosaurus. The king or queen of the third movie. The big bad boy, or girl, whatever the hell you call it. Basically, the new kid on the block in the third movie. Even though, of course, it was the new island, Isla Sorna, Site B. But either way, this sucker I would not want to be standing next to. And I should also mention this thing not only is a meat eater, it also eats fish, which is where the fish feeder comes in. Yeah, you can put that in as an option. Well, okay, you gotta have big enough water to be able to fit that in there. How you do it. And there we go. Yep. They are carnivores and eat fish as well. At least according to the bio here. Yep. Looks hungry, I guess. Well, looking for water, so thirsty right now. Now I should tell you about the changing up the options for food and gift shops and everything like that. So yeah, you can manage the staff just like on the gyrosphere, and this is obviously for food. That's the kind of view you have. And so you can choose, you get 3 different options in all these places. You know, each one costs more than the other or less. And obviously the more it costs to get, you want to charge more to be able to get more income. And for bathrooms too, well, okay, bathrooms obviously you don't want to charge people, but you want a good amount of staff in there. But the more staff, it will cost you, but not that it really matters in here, because so fast food, same sort of thing. You change different food and, well, the price, as well as manage the staff, how much more you want in there. Same thing with the gift shops, or any types of shops. You can actually sell Barbasol, which is, the shaving cream can or night vision goggles. Nice little nods to the first movie, to be exact. And because I turned the dinosaur attacks off, turn the option off where dinosaurs don't attack each other and kill each other, and I'm assuming it's going to apply for them not eating each other, because obviously the Dilophosaurus are much smaller than the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex. I'm assuming they're not going to eat each other, I hope. But in case you're wondering on how to keep that from happening, this is where the ACU center comes in, and the AC chopper, and you add the task of tranquilizing them. This is usually what you do if they escape, and you want to move them, or basically just put them down so they don't attack the other dinosaurs. Yeah, I'm going to trank these guys too as well. And yep, there we go. Yep, they do exactly as they do in the first movie. They put those things out. Those are the things on the side of their head which unleash the venom, that big black venom stuff, to blind their victims before attacking them and feasting on them. And so this is what you do to transport them. You go on the ACU center option, which you do by, you can get to, shortcut by pressing the top L1 button on your PS4 or 5 controller or Xbox controller. I'm sure it applies the same way. Basically, it's the top left button, the first one. And to get to the shortcut for the Ranger team, it's top R button, R1 on the PlayStation controllers. There we go. Transporting one, that's how you do it. And you set the place for one. And, well, I don't want this guy to sleep forever, so just move him into the same place. Because as soon as you place them, they wake up. They regain consciousness. So in the meantime, while that's being done, I'm going to also show another thing that's definitely, rather not really essential, but is helpful for making your park better. And that's, well, for transport rating, to be exact, to make the park experience much more fun, pretty basic and self-explanatory, and that's the monorail. You want to place it over where the dinosaur containments are to give guests views of dinosaurs, and as well as transport them around different parts of the park. Pretty basic right there. Not much to say there. Build different stations and bring them around the park. And you can do it either go, shuttle or do a complete loop around the park. And obviously I'm going to do a complete loop around the park to give guests the full, genuine experience of... And no, you can't connect with the other monorail, unfortunately. That's not how it works. I tried it before. And if you want to see, I'll show you in a little bit. And just to prove to you that it is not possible to do, you mostly can't do it because you're going outside the park boundary. Yeah, this monorail station, I forgot to pinpoint, is outside the buildable area in the park. Yeah, it's just like any other theme park building game, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, the basic stuff. Because, yeah, this is basically the buildable area in your park, and this is the whole boundary right here. Can't build outside of that. And yep, I will probably build gyrospheres on here, but that's really not what I'm going to focus on. There's only so much I can really show in this game. But I'm going to do just one or two more dinosaurs that I think would be pretty appropriate with the movies that this game is based off of. That is are the hybrid dinosaurs. I'm going to build from the first Jurassic World movie, the fourth film to be exact in the series, the Indominus Rex. And yeah, I'm going to build them both in here, tranquilize them, and yeah, I can actually tranquilize them, which they had no success with doing in the films. I mean, the Indominus Rex pretty much kicked the shit out of everybody. And the Indoraptor from Fallen Kingdom. So yeah, I have a containment for the Indoraptor. I just got to build one a little bit bigger for the Indominus, and it's going to be over here. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the staff members that go inside of the containment with that thing. God. I always thought in the fourth movie they should have contacted the camera, the security crew before going in there and with the freaking dinosaur. I mean, they're not sure whether that Indominus is even in there or not, whether it actually escaped. But then again, I guess the film would have had no substance or plot. Doing what Owen Grady would not want. That's Chris Pratt's character. And raising it in captivity. Yep, dinosaurs raised in captivity are not always the most functional. But maybe I'll put two in there. Maybe I'll see if, like in the fourth movie, they mentioned, he ate her. Alright, so here we have Dilophosaurus clearly visible. Pretty awesome. Unlike the first movie where they were a no-show, here they're a full show. But meanwhile, as we're waiting for the Indominus and Indoraptor, let's get ourselves a view of the monorail. And you only get one view on top of here, unfortunately, which is pretty cool. And for some reason, it's on top of the monorail. Yeah, you can't take a ride inside the thing. But yep, there's the Pteranodon birdcage aviary containment. And into the station we go. There's the other monorail station, and, well, I should say on top of the station overhang cover. Okay, that's very strange, I have to say. It would be nice to get another view of it. Alright, well, before I release the Indominus and Indoraptor, I should also mention I cooked up a few Gallimimuses, or Gallimimi, or whatever way you pronounce them plurally. And yeah, they're going to be in a group, just like in the movie. The first one to be exact, and I think they were in a bunch of the sequels too. Yep. But you won't have Tim, Lexi, and Alan Grant running alongside them, and no T-Rex to attack them. Yep, they're flocking this way. So yeah, a lot of herbivores in this containment, and because they're plant eaters, as I said, they obviously won't harm each other. Alright, and all aboard. Up to the next station, and on the way there, we're going to be able to feast our eyes on a bunch of herbivores. Yep, the ones I just showed you before. There they are. First is going to be the Indoraptor. I know I'm not exactly going chronologically correct here, but here he or she is, or it is. And it is not staying in here because it is going to be tranked. Yeah, at least I'm not that idiot that tried to pull the teeth out of this thing. Yeah, enjoy your meal, buddy, because you are going to sleep. Now the transport into its new home. And there's the view you get from the viewing gallery. Whew. That is freaking awesome. And now, are you all ready? Drum roll. The Indominus Rex. Yes, that's right. Scarier and more teeth. I don't know if this one can camouflage though. But don't worry, this one will get tranked. Because it is not staying here with the Spinosaurus. I don't want them attacking each other. But hey, that's a pretty cool view right there. Two carnivores. One more fiercer than the other. Now, I should also bring up the only thing that is missing from this, that's not in here, you probably noticed, and I felt was kind of a letdown, is the lack of the lagoon, you know, the home of the Montosaurus, the big fish dinosaur that, spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen Jurassic World back in 2015, but most of you probably have and know how it ends. You know, the T-Rex comes out, and the raptors, they try to take this beast out, because, you know, more teeth do the damage, and we'll take him out. And then the Montosaurus pulls him right in the water and finishes him off for good. And, well, that's where they find him, at the bottom of the lagoon in Fallen Kingdom. But yeah, there's no Montosaurus, no lagoon in this game, unfortunately. That's the only thing missing from this one. But, yep. Bringing the Indominus into its new home. And, of course, we even have the other one. Ready to go. There we go. We're going to have two for the price of one. Let's just hope one doesn't eat one another. Let's just hope they only eat what's placed in front of them. Hoo-hoo. That is no dinosaur, as they would say in Jurassic World. Alright, now let's see what the view of these beasts are. Pretty awesome. And you're getting two for the price of one, as I just said before. Freaking dynamite. Hell yeah. It's just hard to believe that people just look at regular dinosaurs like an elephant at the zoo and want more, and, you know, all of a sudden Jurassic World, I find that part of the movie just a little bit, you know, questionable and nitpickable. Like, they really want to push the boundaries of, you know, dinosaur making and make a hybrid. So, but, well, that's what happens when you mess with nature, and that's what happens when you raise a dinosaur like that in captivity. Other than that, there ain't much to say about this game. I know there's a lot more to really cover, but I think I covered the basics and everything like that. Till next time, well, you obviously know what's next after this.